There we go. All right. So play 5, man. This is a 2nd and 6 for Washington. Let's go ahead and run it. All right. You get a throwaway forced. And Washington comes out in a cover 4 shell, but Philly throughout the game, right? They had their moments where they try to use Washington's eyes against them, and use like their aggressiveness to get behind them. This is one of those moments where you have, I think, Jahan Dotson is on the screen, and they try to sell the screen right to get any cornerbacks that's on the blocker or the fake blocker to bite down as AJ Brown pushes vertical, right? So essentially Jalen and the offense is trying to get Jeremy Chin to bite down on that screenplay as Devontae Smith rolls behind him. But this cover 4 structure, you have Sanderson taking on, he has good eyes first and foremost, right? Like he has a good understanding of where Devontae Smith is in relation to AJ Brown, right? So he knows that AJ Brown is breaking inside. You have a 2-man between Jeremy Chin and Mike Sanderson on Devontae Smith. You also have Quan Martin and Sanderson boxing in AJ Brown, right? So everybody's playing disciplined structure right now. And because the screen or the fake screen was intended for Devontae Smith, it now forces Jalen to make something else shake. And this is where you get a throwaway, right? So you get from a 2nd and 6 down to a 3rd and 6. And now your rush up front plays discipline, right? Doesn't really give them a rush lane, right? Talking about loopers and effort. Like that's the most important thing when you have this moment, right? Because when you're in this situation, and you're facing a mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts, you can't just do half the job, right? You keep him in the pocket, but he also has a tendency to escape the pocket. You have to have that effort that 99 did, right? Cleveland Farrell. Like, don't just give up on the play just because you did one part of the job. And even Johnny Newton. Like, you gotta put some pressure on him. So you force a throwaway. You're talking about good structure from the back end, good discipline from the back end, and also good rush discipline from the front end, and good effort to finish the play the way that they did. Okay. Let's go to another play 8. What is that? 1st and 8. Excuse me, 1st and 10. Okay. All right, let's run it. Two-yard loss. Again, we're going up against Saquon, right? If you're trying to beat Philadelphia, you got to make plays in the backfield. You can't allow Saquon to get that forward momentum. Why did my nose start to run the moment I'm doing this film session? All right. My bad, y'all. My bad. All right, so Sheldon Day playing your 2-tech right now. I think he's trying to squeeze the gap, honestly. So, but this is a condensed formation, or condensed splits up front. So he's over top of the center. Over top of the right guard, but the center is trying to reach block him, right? And he just gets inside, wins, and blows up the play. Also, we know that the edge defender, Holmes, comes in uncovered. But this is a really good job from Fowler down to Sheldon, down to Holmes, right? It starts off with Sheldon penetrating the gap, getting inside, beating 51. Holmes comes in uncovered, but then you also have Dante Fowler on the back end, right? Squeezing that line, making sure that Jalen Hurts can't go anywhere in case he does decide to keep it. You blow up the play. Everybody rallies to the football. You get a 2-yard loss. Let's go ahead and run this one. Same thing, another throwaway force. It's because your defense is prepared. They're understanding things pre-snap. They try to work a screen, right? They motion, who is that? I think that's Barnwell. Yeah, Kenny Barnwell to the right side of the formation behind the trips, and your cornerback sniff it out from the beginning. And then who is that? Because I was trying to read that part. I can't see who the defender is. Did I? I didn't play the end zone ankle. But your edge defender ends up crashing down. He gets into the throwing lane of Jalen Hurts, right? And that forces him to get off his mark. There's nobody else around. You force another throwaway, right? And even if he threw the ball, you're talking about defenders like who is, I can't see who the cornerback. I think that's Mike. Is that Mike? Yeah, because Ben is on the boundary side. But he's attacking his guy, and you're not getting all but what, like 2 or 3 yards in that moment if he throws it. He could have thrown it, but I think the defensive lineman spooked him, so he decided not to. You end up getting a throwaway. I was playing. Did I? Hold on, wait. Play 9. Oh yeah, okay. Where we at? Play 10, because I was play 10, so play 17, 20. Okay. All right. Now this is one of the first sacks of the day. There's a couple things that happens here that I think is worth discussing. You get a sack on the play. I think this is the 3rd and 8. This is a great rush line and line game up front. So let's start from coverage, and then let's start to let's end at the defensive line. They motion into that trips alignment on the field side, right? And Washington starts to use a man coverage call. So the way that their defense is set up, right? You have your outside cornerback matching Devontae Smith. Devontae goes, he runs his shallow crosser, and you have 2 vertical routes that essentially is a natural pick for that crosser. So you get automatic separation once he goes down the line. But you're talking about at that time a pass rush who gets there, right? And shout out to Percy Butler, who is on the field side making a great read to recognize Saquon, right? Now he doesn't show full effort because at the time in which he gets there, the play is over. But you see Percy Butler jotting down to Saquon, finding him outside of the backfield, right? Because he's wide open at this point. There's nothing he can do in terms of Jalen to get the ball to Saquon. But if he throws that and Percy's running full speed to get it to him, maybe a pick six. Anyway, up front, and what are they running? You have a line game, and what they do show for Jalen is they want him to step into that B gap. Wait, is that the B gap? Let me check. Yeah, all right. They want him to step into the B gap. So they have Deron Payne, Bobby Wagner crashing or slanting to the defensive right. So what does that do when you slant to the defensive right? It leaves this wide open gap, baiting Jalen Hurts, because after throwing the football, right, I got this gap right here, and they're man coverage. I'm gonna run the football, but you got a looper, Dorrance Armstrong, who's looping around those guys, right? And that's where the play is made. They want Jalen to take that rush lane. They don't want him to throw the football, because if you take that rush lane, we have somebody looping over into that gap. And then you got a person in Frankie Louvu who can collapse and pursue the football, and we can make a play that way. So a really good rep. Again, 3rd and 8. Let's get off the field. Really good standpoint, really good rush line, really good scheme call up front to bait Jalen Hurts, and you get him off the field and you make him punt. At this point, I think it's still 7. I think it's 7-0. Okay. All right. So this is another 3rd down, right? We showed a 3rd and 8. This is a 3rd down. The next drive. And that's just Sanders still being a dog, bro. Good click and close. Like he's playing off, and I think he's playing off and inside. So at this point, obviously, if you're off and inside, anybody breaking in, you can break on it. Same thing if he's breaking out, but you establish what your leverage is going to be, right? And that's Jahan Dotson up front or up top, excuse me, running that slant route, and he just closes on the ball, plays through the hands, very violent hands, and we're talking about a punt. Easy money for Mike. What they call him, Frozone. Easy money for Frozone, right? So another good rep from your secondary, getting off the field in critical moments, making plays on the football in the secondary, making plays on the quarterback at the defensive line, the first level. Now this is 20 plays later, still first half, 2nd quarter now. They're in the red zone. Again, easy money for Mikey. We're talking about a person that's on an island outside, right? Good PBU. They try to bait him with a double move. Doesn't work. He has eyes on the football this whole time. When the ball is in the air, he just finds the football, makes a play. Really good rep from Mikey, man. And we're not done with Mikey just yet. We got a couple more, I think, with him. What's that, 39? Mike, what up, player? Appreciate you checking in. Good morning, man. Good morning. Just going through the film session. I think we only got a couple more plays on this one. Or should I did I do the offense? I didn't do the offense, huh? Oh, I didn't do the offense. All right, yeah, let's do the offense too. We're gonna do the offense after I finish this defense. That's probably like six plays that I captured that was worth discussing. All right, where was I at? Let's go back. We just did Quan Martin double move. All right, here we go. All right, so another scheme call, right? So we're talking about a 3rd-and-3 at the end zone. At the goal line. Big moment. Again, Washington's offense can't do a damn thing offensively. They keep giving the ball back to Philly. Philly is driving. This is 2-minute situation. We got to get them off the field. We can't allow them to score a touchdown. And what do we call? How do we get these? How do we get the ball out of Hurts' hands where it doesn't end up being a negative play for us? So in this moment, you do see that 2 receivers get open in the end zone, and I think even on the broadcast they called it out. But at this point of the play, you're talking about a situation where Jalen is already running for his life. So at this point, everybody gets tangled up here, right? At the top of his drop, there's nobody open. He's looking to get the football out of his hands or make a play with his legs, right? And what you're seeing in this moment is a delayed blitz by Quan Martin, right? So he contacts or engages with the tight end who's coming out in the block and release. That's covered by the cornerback. But now you got Quan, who's dolo and not accounted for, is going after Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts feels him. And because of this rush line doing a good job penetrating and causing chaos up front too, Deron Payne getting back there right at the top of his drop. Forces him to scoot up. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, Quan is he's trying to find a way to escape the pocket and make a play. But the delayed blitz, right? And Quan Martin going over there, he doesn't have any eyes in the end zone, right? Jalen Hurts cannot see these guys because now he's looking for a way to make a play with his legs. That's why he doesn't see these guys. So it's not a negative play from a secondary standpoint. This is all about what they do up front, creating pressure. Deron Payne generates pressure, forces him to step up. Quan Martin has a well-timed blitz, right, where he's not even accounted for. He has a free lane to the quarterback, and it spooks Jalen Hurts to begin with. So you're talking about a 3rd and 3 situation at the end zone, 2-minute situation. You can't allow a touchdown. That's terrible. That's negative momentum going into the half. You get them to the ground first and foremost. You gang up on them, and you force an incomplete pass. Your offense gets the ball back where they have an opportunity to score. They just don't. +43, +45, 3 +45. Okay. So this is play 45, 3rd quarter, 2nd and 3. So this is, I'm gonna let it ride. But when people think about Saquon's big day, he hasn't been popping off even into the 3rd quarter. Like, his big plays came into the 4th quarter, man. Like, where they broke the game wide open. Well, not all of them. It was one play in the 3rd quarter, but that was a catch, right? But Big Phil defeating the combo block, right? Slight combo block, able to withstand that tap from 69. Has good leverage, right? Good eyes in the backfield, and he's able to get off that block, make a play. This was a 2nd and 3. He limits Saquon to a 1-yard gain. So now you're talking about 3rd and 2. Matter of fact, I want to run that again because y'all know Big Phil is a superstar. Let's go ahead and show off that superstar. I wish AJ and Dre was here so they could see Big Phil's being a superstar. Big man. Getting strong. Superstar. All right. Play 49. 2. Play 49. Speaking of AJ and Dre, this is like, I don't know if y'all remember post game where AJ mentioned he doesn't understand what Percy Butler does and why he's on the field. I'm gonna show his negative and positive play, right? He said that these 2 plays were negative. This is one of the plays where I mentioned Washington they gave a pass. This is a 3rd and 6, and Percy misses that tackle, right? Now, granted, open field tackle against Saquon is not easy. And anybody should understand that wasn't going to be an easy play to make. You're talking about a 2-high safety pre-snap coming down to play robber, right? And he recognizes that he comes down full speed, doesn't come to balance. That hurts him. And what I mean coming to balance, like, understand that, you've arrived, control yourself, make the play. It wasn't going to be easy, but that missed tackle ends up breaking for 46 yards for Saquon. And I think they're trailing at this point 7-3. So that essentially helps them get in the field goal range off that one play. And it hurts the defense in that instance, right? But let's go ahead and get to another, what's that, 49? Should I go straight to Nah. All right, let's go in order because we only got two more. But Percy Butler's coming up next. One more from Percy Butler. But we got to show Mike Sanders too the full love that he deserves, bro. Again, on the island, we kind of seen this one already. I think that the important part of this is like, especially playing off coverage. This is a third and wait, was this third down? Damn, I don't remember if this was third down or not. But anyway, inside leverage. Don't give up your leverage. You're off coverage, right? So you have an understanding of your keys and when to make a play in terms of making a break for the football. If they are shorter the sticks or if they are making an in or outside breaking route. But again, maintaining your leverage. You have eyes on the quarterback. Hurts throws a bad ball, so it doesn't even give AJ Brown a chance. But at the same time, look where Mikey is in relation to AJ Brown. He's on his hip. That's straps. Point blank, period. Ain't no way around it. All right. And last one is one of the moments where things start to turn for Washington because they aren't able to get Philadelphia off of the football field for the reasons in which Jalen Hurts is able to make plays. And obviously Saquon is. Jalen Hurts meaning with his legs. And this is one of the ones that hurts the most. Let's let it run, and then we'll talk about it. They end up getting the first down. And this is one of the ones where AJ said that Percy Butler missed a tackle. Like, if anything, he saved the play. Again, too high shell coming down to play Robert. Now you're in a spy situation. Like, and Percy makes that play, but that's not where the play ends up messing up, right? Start from here. Frankie Louvu just he just runs the loop. I honestly don't know. I like, did he get lost? I have no idea why Frankie just continued and didn't maintain a gap discipline, right? Because if he stays on that edge, if he just stays out here, right? And if he feels himself going around and doesn't just spin back into his gap, right? You can spin back into your gap or attempt to. Just don't give up your edge. Don't give up maintain your rush discipline, right? He just continues to run. That doesn't help Daron Payne, right? Because Daron Payne is outside now. Like, he's trying to mirror Jalen Hurts. He's not necessarily doing a full rush at this point. He's trying to mirror Jalen Hurts. He doesn't need to get out the pocket. He needs help to make sure that this guy, his edge defender, is still in the place that he needs to be. So this is where the play breaks down. And that's where I say Percy Butler comes in. He tries to, like, he's just blowing right past Daron Payne to make this play. And, like, I think people need to understand what that is, bro. Like, that's full-blown effort, bro. That's somebody balling out. Like, he's not trying to give up this first down. He understands what down it is, bro. This is 3rd down and 7. I cannot give up this first down, bro. To make this effort from the opposite side, the opposite hash, bro. Like, that needs to be mentioned for effort. That needs to be a positive play for Percy Butler, bro. And to get a hand on Jalen to make it close enough to where it has to be reviewed for a first down. Because initially he's short. Like, the ref deems him short. That's a hell of a play from Percy Butler, if you ask me. Like, that's not nobody's fault named Percy, in my opinion. That's somebody that's making a play, bro. So, yeah, Jay Tizzy, you right. Louvu ran himself out of the play. That's my point. And you see moments where individuals have those lapses defensively as the defense starts to wear down, where it's like, bruh, like, y'all had a hell of a game. I just showed y'all 10 or 11 plays defensively throughout the game up until the 4th quarter, where Washington was really doing their MFing thing defensively. And unfortunately, the offense was unable to help them guys out, and it gets them in trouble. So let's go ahead and get into a few offensive plays, right? I'm about to see how many I got. That's at least worth showing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I mean, I got 6 plays that I'm going to show. So that's nothing. So I'm going to show the 6 plays. We can talk about them. Give me 2 seconds. All right, here we go. So this is play 10. This is a 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 is the drive following the touchdown, right? Let's go ahead and run it. Magically, I got a tissue and my nose stopped running. I don't know what that was for. All right. So this moment was I think was the one that was all on Jaden. So the secondary, obviously, they're not letting anything downfield get open, right? And you got a little chaos in the pocket, but like that secondary, solid coverage. They strapped. Terry, that boy. I mean, look, you got three defenders and a triangle on Terry, bro. They are not letting him get open. But you got Austin Eckler and Zach Ertz available to you on that 1st and 2nd level. Again, 3rd and 6. But what hurts Jaden here is him dropping his eyes, right? And he did this on a couple of times throughout the day. When people say, was he hurt? I always emphasize, even on the podcast, think that he's playing hurt, but it's not impacting his ability to play good football, right? It's decision making. And he drops his eyes here, right? Now, for whatever reason, he thought that he can get the 1st down on his own. This play, when I saw this, instantly made me think about his performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Like, I think that he was feeling the rush. He stopped looking downfield, and you're talking about a person who just didn't want to make a mistake. I think things were moving too fast for him. Again, the pocket was a little chaotic, and you'll see it here. You get 2 rushers who went inside, right? It's forcing him to move off his mark. And as soon as he moves off his mark, look at it. Just look at his helmet. It's as simple as that. As soon as he moves off his mark, eyes drop. So you're talking about a 3rd and 6 where you can get an easy conversion to Eckler or Zach Ertz. And we're punting the football again. A 3 and out, mind you. You ain't getting no 1st down off the field. Damn. First off, Jake, bruh. See, now I got a dog. I would love like a situation where I can stay out all day. Don't get me wrong. Oh, I ain't mean to do that. Where am I at? What I do? All right. Staying out till 10 or 11. That sounds lit. For like no question. That sounds lit, bro. I'm just a little jealous when you said that. All right. It's actually the next play. So this is the next play of the next drive. Let's go ahead and run it, and then we'll talk about it. It's another sack taken from Jaden. Again, a processing thing where I think his processing was sped up. Not the best pocket, is a chaotic pocket, but we're not going to sit and act like Jaden hasn't thrown from that pocket before. You get a backside dig from Noah Brown, who is butt naked. Throw the dig. Is there. But I think his initial read was Terry, and I don't think he was sure that he can make that throw to Terry. Or maybe he was crossed up between throwing it to the flats or throwing it to Terry, and that got him off his mark. But either way, your play side reads wasn't open. Find your backside dig. Maybe the coverage was confusing him. It was a cover 3, right? You get a decent look, right? So that dig was open, but he doesn't throw it. And again, his eyes dropped once his initial read wasn't there. whichever way he was looking. I think he was going to Terry, and you see him work back to the middle of the pocket, but you just see him working through the progressions way too quickly. Like I don't think like I think he's scanning, but he isn't looking. I hope that makes sense. Like I think he's like going through the act of scanning, but he isn't really looking, and you get yourself in trouble. Where are we at? Play 11, play 12. Okay. Now let's show some moments from the offensive line that gets themselves in trouble. Let's go ahead, run it, and then we'll talk about it. This is not a Jaden issue. Offensive line got their ass worked. All right. So this is a moment where you don't really see Sam Cosmi get destroyed the way in which he does. But he gets blown off the ball. Excuse me, let me inverse that. Brandon Coleman gets blown off the ball. Sam Cosmi gets beat with some initial quickness. Obviously, the hand timing to swipe and get under and through to penetrate that way is impressive from him. The defensive lineman himself, like look at the hips, like the fluidity in his movement. That's a problem up front. And Sam Cosmi just wasn't ready. Now you have Brandon Coleman on the left side, who is facing 19. I think that's Josh Sweat. He has some good moments against Josh Sweat, and I say Josh Sweat, right? Like, he has some issues against other people. Also has some losses against Josh too. But anyway, point being, he gets his pad level is a little bit too high. That allows Josh to just get low, use him for leverage. It's like he's like, get the F out of my way. Sack. Again, that's not a Jaden problem right there. That's actually the offensive lineman not working. All right, we done with that one. We ain't gonna watch that replay again. Let's go to what was that? Play 12, play 21, placement. We ain't gotta show that one, but we're gonna show it anyway. 2nd and 9, second quarter. Now this is a scheme call to Noah Brown, right? This is the one that skips, hits his leg. It's the bad ball, bro. You get a slight movement in the pocket, right, where you get away from the pressure. You have endless time to make the throw. That ain't, hey, his ribs hurt. That's why he ain't making these throws. Like, no, bro. He ain't. That's not a good ball. And personally, when it comes to the quarterback position, I'll let y'all know how I feel on certain things. Like, I'm not a technical guy with the quarterbacks. Like, if something is glaring, right, like a footwork issue or like a throwing motion that gets somebody in trouble, I'll be able to point that out. But I don't like to get into the technical side of quarterbacking. That's like, I feel a little ignorant speaking like that because I don't know I wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. Honestly speaking, unless I'm talking to somebody that has expertise in that situation and they can just kind of help guide me in what I'm seeing. But I try not to dive into that stuff. I just talk about the result. I talk about where the ball is, talk about where it should be. But that's just not a good ball, bro. Okay. Where we at? What was that? 21. Okay. How many more? Ralph, I don't think it's his ribs. No, I don't think it's his ribs. I think he's generally playing. I think he's generally playing hurt, but I don't think his injury is affecting or impacting his. When I say hurt, like I feel like, excuse me. When I say hurt, I'm like, think about waking up on a Wednesday morning. You gotta get up and go to work. You got this nag in your shoulder, and you know where the nag came from. You was hooping over the weekend. Uh, you took a hard fall off a foul. You know where the injury came from, um, and you just got to deal with it till the pain goes away. Like, and your shoulder is Wednesday, and your shoulder's been hurting since Saturday. I mean, like he's physically hurt, but like he can still perform. Like it's not going to hinder his performance moving forward. Like I can hoop on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, and still play. I just may be a little sore. Um, and that's kind of what I mean. I don't think that was the greatest analogy or greatest kind of way of me explaining myself, but I don't think it's his ribs, but I just think he's dealing with some pain. He's okay. Um, like it's not like it can get hurt if he takes another hit, or re-injured if it takes another hit. He just gotta play a little bit better. Where was I at? Oh, play 33. All right, here we go. So this one is an indication of just how good Philly's defense was up front as well. You get a five-man front essentially against that two running backfield or two backfield, however you want to say it. And how they play everything up front is quite impressive, right? I guess your edge rushers, right? First off, I don't know how 55 goes away uncovered, but like they're just beating the pullers to their spots, right? This is it, somewhat of a power play, but you have Cosme who's unable to reach the edge quickly enough. So what does that mean for Washington, right? You don't have the numbers to defend 93. You don't have the numbers there to defend 55 because they get to the backfield so quickly. That counter is eliminated before you even have a chance to do anything. So I don't think that was like a play call. First off, 2nd and 2, bruh. Like when you got momentum like that, I don't even know why I'm running a QB counter in the first place. Like maybe a 1st and 10. The 2nd and 2 where they're actually expecting a run. And you don't really have that great of emotion or stale to begin with. I wouldn't even know if this play call is acceptable in my opinion. Like I don't know if I would run that in that moment. But a 2nd and 2, you call that, you end up losing 2-3 yards, bro. This is after you get an 8-yard pickup. It's like you get one great play and then you automatically get set back after that in a 2-yard loss, bro. That was a constant thing. I think you get yourself in. I think this is the 3rd and no, it's not that drive. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. All right, let's go ahead to the next play. I think this is my last play that I'm showing. 39. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right, so this is a 3rd and 5. Another play where your offense fails you. I like the concept from Cliff Kingsbury, which is pretty impressive against quarters coverage, right? So, you have Ertz, who is initially, let's kind of show it from the end zone angle. Where's he at? All right, here we go. So Ertz, if you look at it from right here, he motions across the formation or tight to the formation to now being the outside receiver to the boundary side of the field. So he's outside of Terry. Terry's in the slot, right? You get Terry, who's running a vertical route. And against quarters, you have two cornerbacks and a linebacker who are having eyes on Terry, right? Up until the point that you see Zach Ertz cross the linebacker's face. I don't know. I can't tell who that is. So in this moment, that vertical route is being carried by the cornerback. Because the vertical route is getting carried by the cornerback, it leaves opportunity to the boundary side of the field where he's wide open. That side of the field is vacant. Excuse me. So it leaves Washington an opportunity to exploit it. Zone principles indicate that linebacker is expecting something over the middle and he has to defend the middle. So let's have Zach Ertz sail in a breaking route and let's send them back to the sideline. Wide open. Right? This is a tough play. This is a down that you need to have, but your offensive line lets you down. Andrew Wiley, he gets bull rushes to the quarterback's lap. And you got Brandon Coleman, gives up a soft edge, right? It causes Jaden to bail off. I also think if you look at Jaden's eyes, he does get off his initial read too quickly, in my opinion. But this is a hard one because the pressure is pretty instant. So it is a little rough from that instance. Like you give up a soft edge and Brandon Coleman, like, look, and when I say soft edge, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. When I say soft edge, I mean like not reaching your set point. You're taking an angle set, and if you don't establish that half-man relationship, right, where you take away the inside, but you also have this moment where he can't get outside of you either. But if he does get outside of you, he has to run the arc. He has to run the pocket, basically getting behind the quarterback. But because he gives up a soft edge, number 3, who I think is Nolan Smith. Is it Nolan Smith? Whoever number 3 is for Philly. He can just get under Brandon and get that stack. Yeah, I don't know who I forgot who number 3 is. But that's what a soft edge is, right? Like not getting out there wide enough on your pass set. And then obviously, like I said, your two tackles blows the play open. But if you want to be technical from a quarterback standpoint, I'm sure coaches are saying you have an opportunity, Jaden, to get the ball out at this moment. But he gets off his read a little bit way too quickly. Like you don't even give this route a second to develop. I don't know who he was going to. So also 3 is Nolan Smith. Okay. But yeah, let's kind of look at it one more time from this angle. Like at that point, he got off Zach Ertz already. Like at the top of his drop, he got off Zach Ertz already. But if he stayed on Zach Ertz, he probably would have seen that he had an opportunity. Like if he just stayed with him. But again, it's a tough call. Like the tackles gave up that pressure immediately.